All right, let's talk about this all quarter century team. People are starting to do this. It's the new feature. It's been 25 years since the turn of the century. So ESPN recently made a list of like a 53-man roster with the best players of the last quarter century. Some Niners made it, some didn't. Let's go through it and see what we agree with, what we don't. Starting with quarterback, they went with Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes. I don't really have any problem with that.
That's perfect.
Seems pretty perfect to me. Peyton Manning might even be the most underrated of the three. I mean, he didn't usually have the defenses that Brady and Mahomes have had.
He kind of faltered in some playoff moments too.
Yeah, he did falter in some playoff. Belichick owned him. All right, running back. This is amazing to me. Priest, Holmes, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry. Practice squad, LaDainian Tomlinson. Practice squad.
Disgusting.
You know they put
that practice squad. They put it there just to like, we know he should be in here, but I'm a fan of these two guys, so I'm just gonna practice squad him so I don't get like too killed. Like LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah.
How is Tomlinson not in there? I don't get it.
I mean, Priest, can we just start with, to me, what I don't like about the Priest Holmes things is like, okay, Priest Holmes, I remember Priest Holmes. He was great for 3 years. From 2001 to 2003, he was great. But if the list was like the best players from 2001 to 2003, he'd definitely be on the team. But this is from 2000 to 2025. And I think you have to take it into account, like longevity at some point. And this guy had 3 great years. How do you put a guy with 3 great years on an all quarter century team? He wasn't even on an all half decade team. Maybe he'd be an all half decade team.
No, that's look. Priest Holmes is one of my top 5 favorite running backs of all time, and I think
that's good.
But I think it's because I'm not judging him based on like his tenure. I think this one becomes their criteria on this list. It gets weird. It gets blurry. It's like, wait, are we going off tenure? Or are we going off who's actually a great player? Because like those 3 years were magnificent, but to me, it's like if I'm building a team, I would build Priest Holmes. Again, he was so silky.
Because to me, it's like if you're making it a 25-year window, I'm like thinking who accomplished the most in this 25 years, right?
Who's greater for like a longer period of time? I feel like,
dude, LaDainian, you can't compare Priest Holmes and LaDainian Tomlinson. You can't.
No, can't.
First of all, LaDainian Tomlinson was the best running back in the league for a while. There was a season he had 31 touchdowns. 31.
He was still great even with the Jets one year.
Yeah, he was.
So for like
people don't remember LaDainian Tomlinson. And then, I mean, Adrian Peterson, not even considered. Marshawn Lynch, not even considered. But Frank Gore's controversial because he was never the best running back in the league, which is true. But damn, dude, he had more rushing yards than anyone else since the year 2000. And he's not even consideration. That's amazing to me. It's amazing.
I'd reason with you to put him on like practice. If they're doing a practice squad, which is kind of funny, is like why they do practice squad for running back, but not for quarterback. So that's what lets me know like someone messed up here. So for sure, the ALT is there, AP is there.
The practice squad. Sorry, the practice squad for the quarterback is Rodgers and Drew Brees. They put 2 dudes on the practice squad for a quarterback.
All right, come on, man.
There's not enough reps in practice for all these quarterbacks. I don't like it.
No practice squad. Screw this. This is stupid.
5 quarterbacks.
Say it with your chest. You liked McCaffrey, Henry, and Priest Holmes over Adrian Peterson, LaDainian Tomlinson, Frank Gore.
Even McCaffrey. Like, no disrespect to McCaffrey, but dude, you've had 4 great years. You've had 4 years where you're hurt. Like, you can't put him above Gore.
You can't put McCaffrey
or Tomlinson.
That's insane to me. I would be more
Peterson. Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code COHN, COHN, and download the app now.
Derrick Henry has a stronger case than McCaffrey. That's because
Adrian Peterson won the MVP award.
That's crazy. Like, how is he not there?
He's the last non-quarterback to win that award, and he's not on this list.
I think when it's all said and done, I'm gonna look back like Adrian Peterson is the greatest running back of all time, probably.
I mean,
like, that's probably a bold take, but he's definitely like top 3. I think anyone will put him top 3. Worst top 5, but I would say top 3. But to me, it's top 1. Maybe it's because I was born in '95, so he's just. I have him as the best running back of all time, and then it's LT. Or you can flip flop them. I don't really care. They're both like maybe LT because LT did both, but so did AP kind of. But AP was more the prototypical back. But either way, like those are the lock 2 right there, and then 3 gets a little like, okay, I could put Derrick Henry there, sure. I wouldn't put Marshawn.
I think Derrick Henry deserves it. I think he's
I'd put Derrick Henry 3. I put Derrick
Yeah,
Henry
I
3.
would.
I wouldn't put McCaffrey there. And if we're gonna go practice squad, sure, put Grant and Frank Gore, because Gore, like, especially specifically for okay, the last quarter century. Okay, cool. That who was great for, who was always solid high level, top 5 back for like, freaking like 7 years. Frank Gore. So
Yeah.
I
And like the
definitely
thing with McCaffrey, if he had never come to the Niners, he would never be in consideration for this team. But he comes to the
yeah.
Niners and he gets to play on an offense with Debo and Kittle and Ayuk and Shanahan, and it looked great for 2 years. Gore didn't really get that luxury until he was older. I mean, he was on some really bad teams with some really bad coaches where teams would just show up and be like, well, all
Carried.
we have to do today is shut down Frank Gore and we win. And he still produced. So I don't know.
That's why he's like one of the most beloved 49ers of all time. It's crazy because
He
it's
was
like
the team.
so many people, like, I think of all, like, imagine, like, I don't even know which player 49er fans would feel like hurt for. Like, who do you think is you're more upset for that didn't get a ring? Frank Gore or Joe Staley? It gets really hard at that point because they're pretty much both tied to the hip because they both kind of like were with the 49ers together at the same time, right? Obviously
like
Staley,
absolutely.
Obviously Staley was there a lot longer, but I mean, I think it just resonates with Gore more because he's actually the ball handler, and you're going to resonate with the guy who actually like makes the plays. You have another gripe too about this quarter century, do you?
Well, we'll get there. Fullback. This really makes me happy because this guy never gets enough credit. Kyle Juszczyk on the. There's not even a practice squad. It's just Juszczyk all on his own. Fullback. Thank God. He's always. No one ever talks about him. No one ever acknowledges it. What a essential foundational player he is to the not just the Niners, but the NFL in general. Okay, wide receivers. Best wide receivers the last 25 years. We got 6 of them, starting with Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, T.O., Marvin Harrison, and Justin Jefferson. Of course, the Niner here is T.O.
Is it weird I don't like Justin Jefferson there?
It's interesting. It's mostly older. I mean, it's the only actively playing wide receiver on that list.
Here's the thing: if you're putting someone who's only been there for like all those guys only been in the league for 4 years, then you're trying to say like those years are so magnificent already. It trumps whoever.
Better than Antonio Brown?
No,
like, Antonio Brown was nuts, but he was really good.
I'm putting Antonio Brown on there than Justin Jefferson. Based off, again, 25 years. Maybe Justin Jefferson's probably better. Justin Jefferson probably is going to go down as the better wide receiver, but 25 years, Antonio Brown was special, man. From freaking 20, what was it? Maybe was it 2015?
Now, on the practice squad, they got Antonio Brown and Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson was pretty special too, man.
Put Justin Jefferson on the freaking practice squad instead of Antonio Brown.
Yeah, he's only been playing for 5 years. It's like, it's not enough. Here's what they say. Jefferson's played for only 5 seasons, but what an amazing seasons they've been. One Offensive Player of the Year. Nah. It's too much. Jump the gun on that one. I'm with you on that.
I don't like that one.
It's too soon for him. All right, tight ends. Kittle didn't make the list. It's Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce, Tony Gonzalez. How do you feel about that? With the practice squad being Antonio Gates. Interesting.
That's perfect.
I can't argue with it. If you look at those 4 guys, tight ends, their numbers are just devastating. And as great as Kittle is, his aren't even close. Not even close.
Honestly, even if I go beyond numbers, because like I feel like I'm only a numbers guy like a third of the time. If I'm just looking at impact alone, like Kills is great, but those guys, like, dude, Gates was that second option after LaDainian Tomlinson on the Chargers. Yeah. He's so slept on. I was so happy he got named to the Hall of Fame this year. I was like, yeah, about time. He was the most underrated. I feel like he's the most underrated tight end of all time, even though now he's a Hall of Famer and all this stuff. Because in terms of the game talked about, like Gronk for number 1, oh hell yeah, Kelce, sure. Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez was Travis Kelce before Travis Kelce. Like,
yeah,
Tony Gonzalez would get 150 targets a year. I mean, he was incredible, and he was playing with nobody as a quarterback.
Trent Green.
Best
quarterback was Matt Ryan.
Gerback. Yeah. Tony Gonzalez went to Cal. All right. So I don't have any argument with that. Offensive line, left tackles, Joe Thomas and Trent Williams. I agree with that. Practice squad, Walter Jones, Jordan Mailata. Solid. Left guards, Alan Faneca and Steve Hutchinson. Center, Jason Kelce. Right guard, Zach Martin and Marshall Yanda. Right tackles, Lane Johnson and Willie Anderson.
don't have too much
Fine.
qualms about that. That's maybe because I would have to like really refresh my mind on the offensive line at that
I'm
point.
like, yeah, that was even fine.
Years
What
ago.
about D line? Edge rushers: DeMarcus Ware, Jared Allen, Miles Garrett, and Julius Peppers. Julius Peppers is, I mean, he had to be there, but he was a freaking monster. He was really good.
Jared Allen. Is that my one? Is that my one problem?
Jared Allen, who's the white dude for the Vikings forever. He's crazy.
I remember, but I feel like that's my one. No, I'll let it slide for now. I feel like I'm gonna have to think too hard.
I think he had a bunch of sacks.
He did, and he had like a very like crazy like 5-year span,
like, quarter century. Really, Jared.
That's
Allen.
what I'm thinking of. I'm like, damn, really? I'm trying to think. I feel like
he had 22 sacks in a season. I think this list values peaks more than like full.
It does 1,000%. Oh yeah, for sure. That's the thing. That's what I'm like. Look, and like
to me,
peaks
like,
shouldn't matter.
If you're gonna do that in baseball, if you're gonna like just value, like imagine doing all quarter century team in baseball and being like, well, we're putting Tim Lincecum in the starting 5 because he was the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, that's a great
that's
a great correlation.
Yeah, like so he was done by 27. I don't know.
No one's denying.
Right,
again,
so
context is 25 years. That's where it gets me. I guess it gets us. It's like I get it. Yeah, like, but we're saying 25 years. So it's like doesn't
you can make the team with 3 great years. That's incredible. Like Aaron Donald is on the team. He was great forever.
Don't mind it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he wasn't just a flash in the pan. Calais Campbell's on the team. Chris Jones is on the team. Those guys have been great forever. Vince Wilfork, JJ Watt. Okay, linebackers are interesting. Here are the linebackers, 5 of them. Ray Lewis, Bobby Wagner, Brian Urlacher, Levante David, Luke Kuechly. That's it. Patrick Willis is not on that list, and neither is Fred Warner.
I don't mind Fred not being on there. I do mind Patrick Willis not being on there. Say the linebackers again.
All right. Here we go. Ray Lewis, no argument.
No argument.
Bobby Wagner, Brian Urlacher, Levante David, Luke Kuechly. Dude, Levante David can get the hell out of this list. What are they talking about?
Get Levante
David. Are you kidding me?
Levante's massively underrated. Get him off there. Why are we putting
Levante? Are you better than Patrick Willis? No, of course not. Patrick Willis is one of the greatest linebackers of all time.
Exactly.
Of course not.
He would say, "Why am I on here?" I think second.
Bobby Wagner. Are you better than Patrick Willis?
I was about to say, I think second, I'd go probably Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner is probably the most overrated linebacker. He hasn't been really raw for like 6-7 years. Like he had a great 5-year stretch. And I think he's really like,
the Niners were exploiting him in coverage 5 years ago.
Yes, they were. Oh, 1,000%. Even when Shanahan didn't have all his weapons, I feel like early on, like since 2019, he was a liability. Like he just gets so overhyped. Even with the Commanders, like didn't he make like what the hell? Like he's okay, but come on, dude, he's just so overrated. Like how do you not put Patrick Willis on there? I don't get it. And I might even
was Luke Kuechly better than Patrick Willis?
I was about to say, it's like so when we first read that, I was deciding, do I want to kick Luke Kuechly off first? I was like, no, I gotta go Levante David first. But I would kick Luke Kuechly off for Patrick Willis too. Come on.
Was Luke Kuechly better than Fred Warner? Was Brian Urlacher better than Fred Warner?
So it's funny when you say Luke Kuechly, because my cousin has a huge gripe about Luke Kuechly being named better than Fred Warner, especially in 2019. Luke Kuechly got that All-Pro when Luke Kuechly was like, he was still good, but that was like probably his last like actual like. It wasn't a high level year from here. It was a good year. That 2019 Luke Kuechly was earned an All-Pro and not Fred Warner. But Fred Warner didn't come on until the second half of that year, right? 2019, especially. I think probably when it's all said and done, we're gonna look at Fred Warner as the better linebacker than Luke Kuechly. Like,
I mean, he's more durable. It's probably gonna last longer. We'll see. Here's the corners. First at the practice squad linebacker is Derek Brooks. Killing me. All right. Corners. Darrelle Revis. Champ Bailey. Champ Bailey was so freaking good. Rondé Barber. Wow.
Rondé.
Richard Sherman.
Okay.
Patrick Peterson. And the practice squad is Jalen Ramsey. I don't really have a problem with that.
I think the only ones I'd be like a little bit Patrick Peterson, because he
I got
hasn't
one
been.
name. I got one name. As long as we're going for peaks here, peaks. I got one guy who was absolutely a shutdown corner for at least 2 or 3 years. Nnamdi.
I was about to say, give me Nnamdi, dude. Put Nnamdi in the peaks for sure.
Nnamdi, you could not complete a pass on Nnamdi.
It wasn't
for
2
a
to
few
3 years
on the
dude.
Raiders.
Honestly, it was a hard 4 years for sure. From 2000.
Let's see.
And 6, 7, 8, 9. He only got 2 All Pros. And
yeah, from 6 to 10. From 6 to 10, you just couldn't throw to him.
Couldn't throw to him.
From the time he was 25 to 29. I'm just saying, as long as we're like disregarding freaking entire careers and only focusing on the best part, freaking Nnamdi.
Yep. It's like, and it's funny because he came
like
out.
Nnamdi was more physically gifted than Richard Sherman ever was. I'm sorry.
Oh, Nnamdi was faster too.
Faster.
Nnamdi could play man coverage. Man. He was okay at zone, but he wasn't good at zone. That's why he failed in Philadelphia.
No, you just need him in. Dude, just play press man.
You can literally just be like, everyone's gonna play zone. Nnamdi's gonna man up. So
yes,
don't worry about
exactly.
him zone.
We're gonna do a box and one concept. Nnamdi, you just
you should you're gonna tell your best like the guy like we're not gonna have you do your best strength. That's why we got you. Like what?
Yeah, you just cover grass. We know you can cover man to man perfectly, but you just stand here and cover no one and try that.
That was just so stupid. I remember when the Niners signed up, I was really hoping he could be like a solid number 3 for them or in the dime package, but he just injuries and
he was old.
Confidence just shot. Old. Yeah, just
all right. Safeties: Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, Brian Dawkins, and Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas was pretty good. 5-time All-Pro.
Okay, fine. I was about to say, it's, I don't remember like really 5 like high-level elite years. There's no one that was better. Well, I guess safety shelf life. It's kind of hard for a lot of safeties to get even more than 5 years. So yeah, I think I was just
he was on that Ed Reed trajectory, but he didn't have the full Ed Reed career.
No. Yeah. Ed Reed's clear-cut best safety of all time. No Charles Woodson. Wow.
Oh, it was hard to say that when Ronnie Lott existed. Although I just never really saw Ronnie Lott play, unfortunately.
So no Charles Woodson, but Woodson played corner and safety. So
they have Woodson as.
But Woodson won the defensive player of the year before.
Yeah, you might, but I feel like Woodson was better as a corner than as a safety. Like his best years were on the Raiders as a corner. Am I wrong? Then he went. He was more of a safety.
No, I think his best years on the corner was as the Packers when he first moved there in 2005 or 6.
Maybe
from 2005 to like.
Because when I was a kid, I feel like Champ Bailey and Charles Woodson were like 1A and 1B at corner on Madden. I always thought that Charles Woodson was better than Rondé Barber.
I was going to say, I think I'd put Charles Woodson over Rondé Barber off top.
I'd put Charles Woodson over Richard Sherman. Again, Richard Sherman was great, but Richard Sherman played cover 3 and cover 4. Like he was playing bail. He wasn't responsible for the first 10 yards in front of him. He could just play way off. He was great at it, but I mean, he was as limited as Nnamdi, and I kind of like playing Nnamdi style better than playing Sherman style.
I'm putting Woodson over there over Peterson or
Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson, I feel like he killed it at the combine, but like, what did he ever do that mattered in the NFL? You played for the Cardinals your whole career. They sucked. When did he have a moment that mattered? Patrick Peterson.
Speaking of linebacker players who's been overrated for a long time, like he's like the corner version of Bobby Wagner. I feel like after 2019 or at 2018 was like his last. Like,
it's been terrible.
Okay, yeah.
He got Brandon Ayuk paid week 1, 2023. He got Brandon Ayuk and Brock Purdy paid. Patrick Peterson after talking all that shit.
Dude, he got murked. That was funny.
Murked.
Oh my God.
It was pretty funny. All right. I think we got specialists now. Kicker. Who do you think they went with?
Is it Sebastian Janikowski?
No.
Is it the creep? No, they're not gonna put him on there. They put the creep on there?
They went with the creep. I was just watching. Have you ever seen Big Lebowski?
No, unfortunately not. But I think I know some references.
8-year-olds, dude. 8-year-olds. Anyway, punter, Shane Leckler.
I was about to say,
so good.
Yeah, because he was working the hardest on the Raiders. That's why.
And I feel like number 2 should have been Andy Lee, dude. Andy Lee was raw. Maybe not. Then return specialist, number 1, Devin Hester. Number 2, Cordell Patterson on the practice squad. Who was that dude on the Chiefs who was really good for a couple years as a returner?
I'm thinking of two
He was
names.
like 5'7".
It's not Dante Hall.
Dante Hall.
Dante Hall was sweet.
He was really good.
They had some crazy skill players, the Chiefs.
What about Dante Pettis?
What'd you say?
About Trent Taylor?
I don't think so. Don't ever say those names again in your life.
Don't
Jimmy
ever. Garoppolo didn't make this list. I feel like that's a huge snub. Who else got snubbed from the 49ers? No Justin Smith. I feel like Justin Smith was one of the better players of the 20 of the last.
Joe Staley.
Let's go back and look at the interior D lineman. Maybe he wasn't quite as good, but like, who they got? They have a spot called versatile defensive lineman. They gave it to J.J. Watt. I guess he had a better career than Justin Smith.
Oh, 1,000% he did.
Vince Wilfork.
Vince Wilfork was monster.
It's 16 sacks in his whole career.
But he was very impactful. So
he was. That. Was Calais Campbell a better player than Justin Smith?
Probably.
He's 110 sacks in his career. Jesus.
Yeah, I think it's because they.
Wow.
Does he flare? Does he flare out sometimes? I think he does.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Joe Staley, put him over the other left tackle, not Trent Williams, but
Joe Thomas.
Joe
Thomas was probably better than Joe Staley, although no one ever really saw Joe Thomas play because he was on the Browns and no one cares.
Maybe that's why I'm thinking that.
Right tackles Lane Johnson and Willie Anderson. Yeah, I feel like you could have put Joe Staley on at right tackle, but he wasn't really like a right tackle.
Yeah, at this point, you're just putting on players. Just put players on. Dude, that's hard. I think other than that, like the Niners haven't been known for safeties or corners in the last 15, 20 years, so there's no way you could put anyone there. It's just Willis, yeah. Edge rushers, no, can't really put edge rushers. You can't put Bosa there yet. No, I think that's perfectly within reason, except for the Patrick Willis snubbing, which is catastrophic, devastating. How do you not put Patrick Willis? You can put Levante David on there, dude. I get he's massively underrated. Massively underrated. How the fuck would you put Patrick Willis on there?
I don't understand that at all, man.
I don't get it. That's like
you don't get yeah. Anyway, look, that's the show. We're flabbergasted over here, but we are discourse leaders, so we'll find something to say about it next time. Make sure you go check out Into Cloud, some premium hemp and gummies. Use promo code COHN for 25% off your first order plus free shipping, because that's how I do for you, man. I always get you that jug. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, thanks for watching. I always knew I'd be selling gummies one day. Take care, everyone. That's what I went to college for.